Eve Cheesmur, how are you?
Hey, hi, Daryl.
Hi, Eve.
Hi,
It sounds
Bracken.
all very, very fucking professional now that we're doing that like that, aren't we? Hello,
Does it?
Eve.
Should we mirror
Should we
each other
celebrate
like
this? I think we
this?
should.
And, mirror each
Why
other?
not?
Even
You are my first guest. You're my first guest. That is awesome. There will only ever be one first. There can never be another one. How are you?
I'm pleased to be your first.
Cool. Cool.
Of something.
You're breaking my podcast, Jerry. Shall we celebrate? I got wine.
I think that wine is applicable. So yeah.
I like how for a split second you were contemplating it. Oh, maybe.
No, I couldn't possibly have a wine. Yes, I will.
Yep.
Actually, yeah, I definitely will. And congratulations to you, your first
Thank you.
podcast.
My first podcast.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Why did you decide to do this?
I decided to do this because I think that I would like to share with the world.
I feel like this is sake, and I'm just going to pour you one
Just
while
pour
you're
it
telling us why.
I would like to share with the world some of my friends and some of the people that I know and have a good time doing it, and also get a little bit deep and meaningful at times and things like that. And hopefully, if I have certain guests on, we can get right down to the nitty gritty and go a little bit beyond what journalism's doing at the moment, which seems to be just cut and paste, short ass shit. And I want this to be a little bit more deep and meaningful, and I think that is something that we need.
Fair enough. And I also think, you're surrounded by some really wonderful individuals that are super inspiring, and why not bring that to the table?
Totally agree. And
This table. And
speaking
what a
of
platform.
and you're inspiring.
Cheers.
Boom. And to Dylan as well. Where is he?
Dills. What up,
producer.
Dills?
Extraordinaire.
Are you just happy sipping on my Pinot Noir that's got lipstick marks around the edge of the glass over there? You all right? Not really happy about it, but
I'm looking forward to this.
I'll pour you a champagne in a second. Yeah, I think it's a really good thing. I think it's a really good platform. And I think what you're about to embark on it's super important for so many reasons. There are some really great connections. It's New Zealand. It's kind of it's a small community, but within that community, you've got really big personalities and people that are super passionate about each and every aspect of life. And you've got those connections. So what a great platform to kind of talk about those.
And I also think there's a lot of personalities out there that haven't had the opportunity to come out and, be themselves. And I think podcasting is a way to do that, because you're not restricted by anybody else looking over you and telling you what to do. This is a place where you can come out and say, fuck, as many times as you want, and actually do what you want to do.
Sure.
As well as share what you want to do.
It's also not terrifying at all, because there's a light there and a camera here.
Not at all. How's that light? Totally natural.
Be natural. No, be natural.
Be normal.
But I think as well, it's a great thing to do. And I think, there's so many things for us to talk about, and so many aspects of society and our personal kind of feels for, this to be a table to bring it all out on. Whether you're eating around a table or drinking around a table or playing games on a table, just to be able to talk. And I think it's communication is key.
On the oblong table. It's not really a round table, but it's an oblong table.
Oval.
It'll do.
Oval.
Oval. This must bring things really weird.
It's an oval table.
It's really oval. Apparently this is supposed to be relaxing for a lot of people, but I don't believe in it. So what are you doing with yourself now, Eve? You, like me, are a voice actor. You give good voice.
What do they call it these days? It's a voice artist, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Artist? I thought it was voice actor. Americans say voice actor. We say voice artist.
A voice artist is kind of like the Antipodean version of a voice actor. Yeah. Correct. So that's one aspect of something that I do. Don't have the face for the telly, but got the voice for the radio.
But you've taken it one step further, though, because not only are you a voice artiste, you also represent voice artistes, and this is a new development for you.
Of course, yeah. Well, it was a kind of natural progression. It was, I've worked in sound for such a long time now. I'm really old. But I've been working in the industry for 18 years. And it was a partnership of, the time that I've spent as an agent, as a voice agent, and the time that I've spent in an audio post-production realm and industry. Working as a creative, working as a producer, and it was just kind of marrying all of those things and creating, I don't know, it's basically creating a realm where I can make people sing, not with songs, but sing with their own voice. And it's such a beautiful, I mean, you know what it's like. You get in the booth, you're just energized with the script, you're energized with what you're doing. And don't get me wrong, like, I mean, I'm really moral about it, and it's kind of like, you know, there's capitalism and all of that kind of.
Hey, we got to make cheddar.
Someone's got to make the cheese. Yeah. But I take a really moral approach to it, which is, you know, someone's going to do it. So for me, it's like having a really good ethos, really strong values and morals towards that, and really encouraging people to find a stage for themselves. You know, like a lot of people don't have, I mean, you've acted, but a lot of people don't have that
Confidence.
And it is a confidence.
Yep.
Whereas when you're behind the mic, I mean, this is the first time I've been on camera. I'm behind the mic, but I'm never in front of the camera.
Can I just say you should be on camera a lot more, Eve?
Yeah, shut up your
Look
face.
at you.
Shut
Look
up your
at you.
face.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see with my 5 chins and like how this is broadcast. But whatever. For me, it's like it's being able to find a platform for people to have a voice and to feel a lot of confidence. So yeah, it was just a marrying up of all of these things. It felt like the right thing to do. And, you know, working in audio post-production and having these amazing facilities like Big Pop, which I work for, it's like awesome. Liquid Studios, Franklin Road, it's like you can kind of, being a voice, you travel through all these places and you can promote those amazing people and work with them, and the music that's involved. All of the audio post-production side is just a beautiful thing. So to be a part of it is amazing. And to be able to like facilitate voices and the potential of voiceovers it's cool, because you know what it feels like when you get in that booth. It's
No, when I get in the booth, it's my happy place. I feel very, very comfortable. Like whenever I'm down or whenever I'm feeling shit or anything like that, if a voice job comes up, cool, I arrive. As soon as I put the headphones on and I've got that script in front of me, I feel
you shut
amazing.
out the world.
Yeah, it's gone. And it's just you and the 2 or 3 people, if I'm lucky, or the half a dozen people. It's just me and them, and we're bantering and we're having a good time with it. And if they're good directors, it's even better, but it's just so nice to close off from all of that sort of stuff. Do you remember what was the first thing you voiced? Do you remember what the first thing was that you voiced? I mean, properly, into a microphone and all that.
I remember my first voiceover, totally. It wasn't actually a voiceover. It was, so the only thing about me that's mildly quiet is my sneeze.
That's true.
I'm pretty verbose.
Yeah.
But my sneeze was a very succinctly quiet thing about me with this rambunctious personality they've got. And I remember a producer coming in. I was working at Images and Sound at the time, and this producer came in and she was like, holy shit, Eve, we've got this script and it's an animation of a chip. It's lime and pepper chips. And this chip's animated because it gets sprinkling of pepper over it and the chip sneezes. And then there's a little lime in the background that's animated as well. And she was like, I want you to be the lime, and I want you to be the chip, and I want you to be sneezy, but like the cute sneezy that you do.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I've been working there for probably about 4 months.
Hang on, where was this?
Images and Sound.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was the first time that I'd stepped inside that booth. And I got in there and I was like, you know, it's that monkey dance situation where it's like, you go, do it. Like, be happy, be sad, do the thing. And I was like, I can't do what you need me to do. So it was all of these things that I had to put up my nose.
Wait, what?
Pepper.
Yeah.
To make me sneeze.
Yeah.
And I did. And I finally sneezed. And I was this animated sneeze in this like eat a chips commercial. But while I was in there, I was talking to Steve, the engineer, and Sasha, who was the producer, and, you know, we're having this banter. And from that, they were like, your voice is actually not ridiculously bad. And subsequently from there, I started doing voiceovers for Rialto Channel, and I've got paid basically nothing. And then I went from there, and people paid me in wine. And then eventually I was like, well, why don't I put a reel down? And I put a reel down, and it's been a journey since then. Yeah.
This first one's a petrifying.
What was your first one?
My first proper one where I made money, it was for Fisher & Paykel. It was for Fisher & Paykel healthcare products, the sleep apnea machines, right? So you get all this stuff and you've got all this language, which is just like another language.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I dated a dude that had a sleep apnea machine. It was so terrifying. Okay, anyway, we interject. Okay,
We used to have a flatmate here who used a sleep apnea machine. You could hear it at night. It was like one of those old ones. So we'd all be asleep at like midnight and you hear this.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
What the?
Yeah, so I went on a date with this guy. Actually, I went on like 5 dates with this guy, and then finally he was like, "Do you want to come stay over?" And he was Canadian. He was like, "Do you want to come stay over at my house?"
How's it going, eh? Want to come stay at my house and sleep with my sleep apnea?
House? And I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I went over, and I remember getting into bed with it, and he like pulled over this like machine, and then put on I was like, "This is Hannibal Lecter shit. This is not okay."
Hello, Eve.
I like your skin. Yeah, it was a terrifying time because I'd never heard about the sleep apnea and the mask and all of the shit that went with that. Anyway,
It's terribly romantic when you lie in bed and they put the mask on and turn the machine on. Don't mind me.
I can confirm. I just pashed him. That was it. Like that was it. And we're
That's
done.
all I'm giving you.
And we're done.
It's all good.
Anyway, back to you.
Oh yeah, no. So I was the voice of Fisher & Paykel Healthcare Products, the sleep apnea machines, the CPAP machines. So I'm.
Got an abbreviation then.
This is the first time I've ever done something, and they call me up and they're like, "Oh, it was a friend of mine, and he was producing the video, and he said, do you want to come and voice it?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, why not? Like, I'll do it." So I come along, and but I said to them the day before, I said, "Can I please, pretty please, get the script first because I'm dyslexic, right? I'm petrified of this."
Being dyslexic is KO.
Lextic. It's totally KO.
It's totally KO.
It's the best. I'll tell you what, it's a great excuse. But this was bad. It almost put me off completely because I walk in there and no. The day before I said, "Can you please send me the script so I can read through them and memorize them to a certain degree?" Because that helps. They never sent me anything. So I go and they're completely cold. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I always imagined being a voice actor as like in a world and all that sort of thing.
How is that again?
In a world and all that. No, so I go in. So I go in there, and I'm not fucking kidding. I get a novel of the most complicated nasal language I've ever read. I can't remember what it was, but it was embarrassing because it was thick. It would have been about 150 pages of shit.
Wow.
150 pages.
Fisher and Paykel, was it like
Fisher
a
& Paykel
testimonial?
Healthcare. So no, what it was all the machines that go out, they get a little DVD, and they make about 6 or 7 machines, and each one of those machines has its own script, its own DVD to go with it. So it was just constant, all the different things, instructional as. So I'm looking at this, going, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to have to go with it. So I start reading, and I swear it was the most embarrassing thing. It took me about maybe 5 hours to get through it. Now I would probably do it.
I was going to say, where are you now?
Now I would do it in an hour. But at the time, because it was a combination of nervousness and my dyslexia at the time, it was so bad. And I was dying on the inside. I'm looking at these people, first time in a booth, first time with glass in between me and other people, and they're staring at me going, and I'm shitting myself, and I'm just getting through it. And at the end of it, I was like, I'm never ever going to hear from them again. I'm never going to do it again. And then I became the voice of Fisher & Paykel Healthcare Product for the next 6 years.
Terms and conditions apply. It's a really interesting thing though, because it's like you are a dance monkey dance in those situations. I mean, I know you, and we are so super lucky. We're working with people that we know and that we've got rapport with through social occasions or through work or whatever. But that the initial kind of like job perspective is something where you're like, I'm here and I'm here to do a job. And with any other job, it's like you answer the phone, you hang up the phone, you are doing accounts, you invoice, and there's a reconciliation. Or you've got a brief and you answer that brief. You are doing those things. With voiceovers, it's it's really hard because it's like you go into the booth and you act. And I think that was the biggest surprise for me is I was just like, I thought I was supposed to go in there and read some stuff. Like I thought it was just going to be like, reading of something and then that's it. It's like, no, it is quite intense sometimes and amazing because like for me anyway, it's like when I nail it, oh my goodness, it feels so good. Like it feels so good when you nail it and you know that you've answered that brief. You know that everyone's really happy with things. But it's also really hard as well in the interim when you're trying to dissect what the script's saying, what the director's saying, what the visuals are, what the creatives are saying.
You're not just dissecting it, though. You're also translating. Because a lot of the times, a lot of times the directors and the people who have the briefs, they don't know how to explain to you what they want. So you're trapped, and you're like, I've just got to try and make this up. So you give, this happens over time. Like I've been doing this for like 12, 13 years now. And over time, you know the directors and you know the language that they think they know, and then you translate it and you put it on and you put it into the microphone. Sure. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In a world.
That one's funny. I did a voiceover.
What's the best voiceover that you've done?
Oh shit. Probably the most. I love doing the animation stuff. So character things like I do some video games and animation stuff, done some stuff at Muck Putty, and I love that. That is fun because you get to create something, and it's the closest thing to acting, but you don't have to worry about what you look like. You've just got to worry about what your voice is. You just got to invent the character and then just give it a bunch of different voices, and everybody loves that stuff.
So not like Short on the Street?
No, not like Short on the Street.
Are we going to edit that bit out?
No, we're not. That is staying. Oh God, no, not like Short on the Street.
I mean, yes.
No, because you have time.
Yes, but no.
Yeah. No, yes, but no. Yeah. But no.
Are you flushing right now, Daryl? Heartbreaking.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm on Short on the Street. But
what was the line? What was the line? Oh, honestly, I haven't laughed so hard. What was
it? I can't even remember now.
It was something about like she cries some more.
Oh shit! No.
I'm gonna.
If you do, because I'm threatening that dude. And I say to him, if you don't, I'll make. No, shit. What was it? If you don't, I'll make her watch. Oh no! If you don't, I'll make you watch until she cries.
Yes.
And if you don't, I'll make you watch until she stops. That was brilliant. That was gold.
That's script writing at its finest.
I love playing bad guys are the best people to play because you can be as dramatic as you want. You know, I could have put a Shakespearean accent on in there and people would have gone, genius.
I think it would have been great if it was like a Scottish accent.
If you don't, I'll make you watch until she stops. If you do, I'll make her watch until she cries some more. You understand what I'm saying? That would have been weird.
Anybody want a drum?
You want a drum? What I do? You want some scotch? You want
a drink? There.
Should we get on the bus? That would have been good. Yeah, you. No, that would have been good.
It would have been. I think. Sorry, I just got like a couple of tears because it was like, I mean, it was one of the funniest things I've seen. It's just so raw. It was like, is it Daryl? Is it actually Daryl? I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm in some really weird circumstances, but I was just like, this is just so not you. And it's not your facial hair that makes it not you. It was just so not you. It was really interesting.
But even delivering that sort of stuff, it's like, because Shortland Street, it's amazing, actually. Like, it was an amazing experience. When you think about acting, you think about, you know, finding the characters and doing all this sort of stuff and doing all that and doing all that. And the people who act on Shortland Street, they don't have the luxury of time. They've got to do this stuff fast. So you just get a bunch of scripts. Sometimes it's like this thick. It's like a couple of inches. The other guy's not me. It was a couple inches thick.
Are you talking about the paragraph thick?
The paragraph thick. Paragraph thick, not the wang. Anyway, so they have very little time to learn all that and to sort of come up with stuff. So, you know, anyone who says people who act in soaps, you know, oh, it's wooden acting and all that sort of stuff, it's like, you fucking try it. Like, there's no time. You've got to do it really fast. And they do it really, really well.
So what would be your tip if you were to be an actor and if you were giving a tip to people, which is like, you've got to learn a script. This is a really good way of learning a script. Yeah. I mean, you just talked about dyslexia before. And
dyslexia? I think it's different for everybody, but the way that works for me the best, and I think this way would work for a lot of other people, I get all the scripts in order and I record them all onto my phone. And I'll record them and then I'll put on a voice for the other people for the other characters and try and be as accurate with my voice as I can for the parts that I'm doing. And I'll just record it and then listen to it over and over and over again. It's the old thing where you can remember songs, right, from the 80s and 90s because you heard them all the time.
And
you can
today.
And today. The 80s, 90s, and today. But you remember it, right? And then I think there's, for me anyway, I remember things that I hear through the years a lot better than I read.
Do you do that in situ? So when you're like, you'll record that script to yourself, are you doing it at home or are you doing it when you're out and about, or is it in context?
I'm just lying in my bed in my pajamas doing it. Yeah, no, I'm not in context or anything. It's just putting the sound to the just recording it.
Sure, and so
just
you're
listening
just
to it
it's
over
just a
and over and over
repeat.
again. Yep.
Would you say that like doing it in a kinesthetic kind of way could help for other people? I mean, I don't know. You're in the realm of actors. I'm not. So so
briefly,
how do other
I
people
flirt with it. I wouldn't say I would never say.
Oh, Mr. Going
This is
to
true. I would
Fiji.
never say I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I'm not going for that. But we're not talking about that. I can't talk about that. I've been told I can't talk about that.
Okay. We've got an NDA
I
going
wouldn't-
on here.
We've got an NDA going hard. I would not say I'm an actor. I would say I'm a voice actor for sure. But when it comes to acting, I flirt. I have a good time. My agent makes me do it.
Sure, it's kind of
And
like
I
Bumble.
appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Please keep it coming. But
Kind of like Bumble.
kind of like Bumble.
Kind of like Bumble.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you liking me.
Please.
And
just-
we can talk about this. I appreciate it, Bumble. When when you wait, when you match someone on Bumble, and you just like, okay,
No.
start the conversation. Start the conversation.
No, I
start.
don't
Oh, so
know.
you don't because you're a chick.
'Cause
Chicks start the conversation.
I'm a female, and it's like, yeah. Are we gonna go there?
Yeah. No, we're not.
I feel like we shouldn't go there.
No,
feel
we won't
like-
go there.
Yeah,
We
I feel
could
like
go
the whole
there.
kind
We
of
won't
dating
go
realm
there.
is
We
just
will go
like,
there.
no, it's not a thing to talk about.
Yet. No, agreed. But no, back
Ever.
back to the acting thing. Let's wrap that up. No, it was. What were we talking about?
You with voice coaching and
Oh
acting
yeah, no.
coaching.
So I'm a voice actor. I'm not an actor. If I do act, it's purely out of fun and because I enjoy it, and I'm competent, but I wouldn't call myself that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to learning scripts and all that, I think everyone's different. But for me, it's definitely putting it to tape, listen to it over again.
Yeah, because I kind of look at it like I do revere people that are actors. I mean, I used to live with a couple of actors, and I was like, holy shit, you guys have got massive scenes on
And
some like.
no money. Sorry, go on.
No, I think that, I mean, let's be honest. Are we going to go political here?
Oh, shall we?
No, let's
No, that's not.
Because I'm very on the left.
And I'm very centre right.
And how ironic are the colours of our microphones right now? Anyway, yeah, I mean, I looked at my flatmates who were actors, and I was like, how do you guys memorize this? Because I'm really terrible at kind of remembering a lot of things. And one of those things is like, how do you memorize a script? Like if I were to get into acting, how would I memorize a script? And I know that there's several kind of tangents of learning orally, visually, kinesthetically. So do you reenact a scene? Like how do people that are acting that I mean, what's it like at Shortland Street? Oh, I didn't say that bit. What's it like at The street.
Just a disclaimer. I've been on Shortland Street like 2 weeks. Okay, I'm not
Bad
like
guy.
bad guy. I played a bad guy for like 2 weeks.
like on the avenue,
Ev.
What's it like in the cul-de-sac?
The cul-de-sac. The cul-de-sac of the street.
It's no exit.
It was fun to do. What were we talking about?
Isn't any cul-de-sac?
In a cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac's just a dead end.
Every cul-de-sac.
The dead end.
It's a great thing
Dead
to
end.
do.
Everything's dead end. What were we talking about? We're talking about the...
Like, what would you like? I mean, there's so many different ways of learning how to memorize things.
Indeed.
When you're in a moment when you're taking a character on, what I'm asking you is, how do you what do you think are basic kind of steps for learning how to memorize a script, how to get in character, how with all of that, is it?
Oh, no, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. No.
Kinesthetically.
For me, it's literally, it's just because of dyslexia and because of my slow at learning, I just need to repeat over and over and over again.
Sure.
Put it down, listen to it, repeat. That's the only way I can learn. And then when you go in to do the character stuff, or you rehearsing with somebody and all that sort of stuff, then if you've got it all memorized and you know it, it's like theater acting. Once you've memorized it, you can have fun. That's one less stress, and that's the biggest stress is learning your lines. Once you've learned it, and you can just relax and just have fun and worry and think about that little twitch you're going to put in your eye in the line or something along that.
Do you feel like this has been cross-pollinated into life in general for you? Do you feel like, once you've learned a certain behavior and then you project it into life, do you feel like you're kind of acting in life sometimes, or do you... That was a question we haven't
That's
talked.
deep.
That's really deep.
That's deep. Do I feel like I'm acting in life? Yeah.
You do?
No, I do.
Yeah.
There are a lot of times in life where you just feel like, right, especially when you're feeling like shit. You've had like a crap sleep. You got to go to some job that you don't really want to do or something along those lines. And you're acting. You're just putting on a face. If you're putting on a face and pretending that you're liking being there, that is a form of acting. And you are just like, oh, God, hey, how are you, buddy? You know what I mean?
Do you know what?
You, to be in all fairness, I think you are better at acting in life than I am, because every time I see you, you are just a delight. You are delight, and yet I know what's going on with these. Inside, it's just you're being cut off.
Well, no, I was actually, you made an interjection, which is kind of, before I was about to make a really potentially valuable remark, or now it's going to sound like a defensive remark.
Defend yourself, Eve. Go hard.
No, I find it really interesting in that, in today's society and the way that we kind of interact with people and the roles that we have. Okay, it's like, you have a role as a friend, and you have a role as a colleague, as an employee, or as an employer, or as a partner. And I can bring that one up last.
We're going there, are we?
I'm
We're going
sure.
there.
But no. I'm saying it's like, where do we draw the line of like, here's what I'm projecting, which is my day-to-day interaction. Like, I'm going to buy fuel from a person at a gas station, and I'm going to have an interaction with them. So my core values and morals are going to be shown in that situation. And of course, it's going to be a kind interaction, because that's the way that currency works. It's like, hi, I'm here for a service or a product. Yes. Oh gosh, I'm about to get really deep on it now.
Do it.
Yeah.
Dig deep.
So I'm kind of like,
Eve's going deep.
so I'm kind of like, for me anyway, it's like, even if it's like really superfluous interaction, which is not superfluous, it's a need and a want. So whether it's a product or a service, I will always go into that and project what I would really like, and project how I would really like the outcome for it to be for the other person.
Yeah.
So if I wake up and I'm grumpy and I need to get gas in my car, I'm going to go down to that service station, and regardless of if I am really grumpy or I'm really hungover, I'm really tired, or I'm just like, I started off the morning and it's just a bad time, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be like, one is that I hope I project a situation or a person that is going to be having a carry-on effect to however that person is. Because for me, it's like, if I go in and I have a bad attitude, that person could also have a bad attitude, and they've got a family, and that, like, it's consequential.
Are you thinking about emotionally paying it forward?
Totally.
Like, you go up to somebody and you just want, even though you're going through the worst fucking possible time in your life, you're going to somebody and you a couple of things are happening. One, you don't want them to see you bleed. And the other thing is, you want to put onto them positivity so that hopefully they will carry that on to them.
I mean, we could call it karma, we could call it whatever we want, but it's for me, it's a transfer of energy. And it's just like if I'm feeling shit and I know I'm feeling shit and I can't hold my shit together. Like, you and I caught up earlier tonight, and I said to you, I was like, I'm feeling really anxious. And it wasn't necessarily about doing this for the first time. I mean, that might have played a part in it. It probably did play a part of it. But I was just like, I'm really tired, like I've been there to support other people this week, and it's been really emotionally exhausting for me, and I'm going through my own shit. How does that transaction work? How do I want that to move forward? How do I want that to move forward?
Right. It's kind of, The thing is, when you go into those situations, obviously the gas pumping one, for example, you're obviously not going to get feedback. You know, you're going to go in there.
But you know. Like,
Yeah.
I know if I'm buying like a packet of chewing gum from someone,
Yeah.
how that transaction is, how they're feeling. Like, I know that. I know what their percentage of happiness to unhappiness is. Or just like this like really gray area of like, you're just doing the do.
Yeah.
You know, and when we're talking about acting, it's like, I feel that so many of us are acting, but is that necessarily a bad thing? Or is it just the world that we've created for ourselves?
It's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all, especially in Western society where social acting is sometimes it's the only way we can get through shit, because we are so surrounded by things that are stressful. We're so bombarded with things that are people that are putting us down, consequences that are just beating us up. And to be able to put on that face and go in and see somebody who's not less than what we do, but just they want pumping gas. They're pumping gas. They're doing something simple. They're starting out and they're doing that. We need to be able to pass that on. We need to be able to pass the happiness onto that person in some way. You don't want them to come away from an experience with you feeling bad. You know what I mean? And that's not a selfish thing. It's just, I want to be able to make this person feel good as well, and hopefully they will pay that forward to the next person as well, because you know that majority of people who are going on there don't give a shit. And they're just like, hey, pump the gas.
See, really? Because I don't know.
job.
Maybe I've got a really kind of juvenile sense of the world, but I'm like genuinely, like every interaction that I have, and you know this, just like everyone that knows me knows this. Every single interaction that I have is genuine. Like, it is so genuine. I'm like, I had this really interesting conversation with someone at a bar. And I came in and I said to them,
Third date, fourth date. Kidding. Carry on.
No dates.
That was bad. Go on.
Don't bring it back to the dates thing. I went in and I said to them, I was like, how are you? And they were like, why do people ask that question? And I said, what do you mean?
He said that to you?
Yeah. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, I just feel like it's so trivial and that no one really wants to know the response to that. And my retort was, sure, I can understand that, because there have been a lot of times where it is an exchange. It's like a monetary exchange.
Yep.
It's a really swift, I don't care, this is a transaction. These are the things that we're supposed to say. This is the transaction that we're supposed to make. For me, when I ask someone how the fuck they are or how they are,
We now return to your regularly scheduled program. So we were talking about, we just started recording again? Yeah, we did. So first time something died. So we're back now, and it was just getting good. Eve was telling us about how wonderful life is. Eve,
what's
tell us
that?
about it. No, you weren't. You were telling us about crap life is. No, you're telling us about. No, we were talking about acting in real life as well as acting on TV and behind the microphone.
Yes. So, things just got really
loud.
Thanks, Jules.
Thanks, bro. Mean. What?
My little ears have just been burst. But that was cool. It's crisp. No, it's really crisp.
Good.
Yeah. No, I think I was talking about, acting in life, and I don't know. I'm such a hippie. You know that I'm a hippie. And so I get really, I find this.
You're the most capitalistic hippie I've ever met, but correct.
I'm so not.
How many pairs of shoes have you got?
Okay, can I just say that I buy Tom's shoes, which mean, hashtag Tom shoes.
Hashtag Tom. Yeah.
Which means that when I buy
They
a
still
pair
make Toms?
Yeah, when you buy a pair of them, they give a pair away to someone in need.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm I'm not really super capitalistic. and I have a really strong moral code. And so I do struggle with the whole identifying with like who I should be, what my morals and values are, and how I've been brought up, and, you know, really putting weight into the integrity of the things that my parents have taught me and my family. And I freaking love my family. I adore my family and I adore my friends. Like, they have created the foundation for who I am and how I think I should live my world.
Your mum and dad are an adorable couple, by the way.
I know, they're so cute.
Hilarious.
Can I just say that my parents, like, literally, like, every time one of them leaves the house, they will come, they'll look, go up to the other one and be like, all right, I'm leaving now. And then they'll give each other a cuddle. And then they'll say, I love you. And then they'll, like, even if my mum's just going down to the shop, or even my dad's just like mowing the back lawn, he'll go up to my mum and he'll be like, I'm just going to go and mow the back lawn now. And he'll give her a cuddle and he'll be like, I love you. And there is so much beauty in that. But then there's so much that I'm just like, how codependent are you guys? Like, and is that the kind of like life that we should be living? And it's this like huge juxtaposition of like, how should we be living?
Or why shouldn't we be codependent? Why shouldn't we be? I mean, to a degree, like generations ago, it was codependency. You know, you got married young, you lived together, you depended on each other, and you worked together, and you grew a family and all that sort of thing. These days, there's such an emphasis on independency. And I think it's to the detriment of a lot of people.
There's a whole lot that we can talk about around that. One of the things is like, you know, we look at...
We've got time.
Okay, we've got time.
Yeah.
We've got time. Okay, let's look at biological structures and social formats and like Neolithic times, and like, you know, we had tribes, and it was like there were really core values within that tribe of, you know, the necessities of life. Like, there are going to be hunter-gatherers, and, you know, there are, you know, biological strains. It's like, you know, men are able to see better at night than females are. You know, so males are able to see better at night than females.
Did you make that up? Is that true?
It's fact. Peripheral vision is better on males than it is with females. Attention to detail is, look, I mean, I'm looking at Wiki in 2008, and these are the facts. Yeah. But there are really, like, you know, you look at specialization, speciation. There are really clear factors when it comes to like biology and what the sexes are, you know, divided with, and our specialization with either of those. So I think codependency definitely in a tribal format was huge, and that's valid. How does that translate to today and society today? I'm not too sure. I really struggle with it. You know, I'm a very independent woman, to the point where I've had friends that are like, you need to be less independent. And for me, it's like, do I? Because my tribe is my family, and my tribe are my friends. And so do I need to have a partner to feel a really fulfilled kind of life? To an extent, I do, to tick off the boxes of like what's biologically.
No, but ticking off the boxes isn't good. At the moment you say that it's just a tick off a box, then that's
I mean,
diminishing the partnership.
Sure, I mean? But I mean, you know, Daryl, at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. We're here to procreate. Like, that's it.
We are here to root, aren't we?
Not to root. We're here to, you know.
I know what you're saying.
Plants, flowers. I mean, it's all, you know, there's cross-pollination. It's procreation. It's a procreational process.
We're animals. Eve, we're animals, is what you're saying.
And plants as well. I mean, you look at it across the board. It's procreation, and that's for life to continue.
Yes.
So how do you go, well, if my life doesn't continue in a process that feels really ethically, morally okay to me, which means that there's no procreation, and I'm talking very hypothetically here, well, where is my existence? What is the purpose of me being here if it's not that? Like, if it's so hard to do that? Do I devalue my life? Do I devalue my existence? Or do I go, well, there's a really big unknown there. You know, like I exist and things aren't happening in a way that feel in line with what my life is. Do I therefore not exist? Do I one of my favorite adages, like it's a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
It'll happen when you least expect it. And I'm just like, what does that mean?
It will happen when you least expect it, but I mean, some people are just waiting for it to happen.
Shut up.
But some people,
Shut up.
some
It
people
doesn't
mix
know.
it all together. Some people are going,
How are you even on board with it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is why, like, oh God.
no, I totally
it's
agree.
just-
That happens when you least expect it. It totally does happen when you least expect it.
It doesn't happen when you least expect it.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that you should go out there and fight for it?
No,
We should get it.
No, I'm saying that there is a really big grey area in that,
Yes.
you know, we have social norms, we have religious norms, we have a society which is based on what we're here for. And, you know, the underlying value is if you don't procreate, and I'm going to start with that one, if you don't procreate, which is the gold medal, what's the point of your existence here? If you don't end up in a fulfilling, loving relationship, well, you know, like, are you valid? If you don't buy a house, if you don't have a career or a job that's like sustaining your influence in the world that you live today, like, are you actually valid?
I think that having a relationship and being loved and having kids and all that sort of stuff is valid if it's on your terms. You know what I mean? If you find love and you find somebody and you're making it happen and you're doing it on your terms and you're doing it together, you win. If you're doing it and you find love and you're doing it together under the rules and restrictions that you think you should be doing based on whatever it is that people think you should be basing it on, white picket fence, blah, 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 then I mean, you could be winning, but at the same time, for me, I'm looking at it and I'm going, but if you're happy, you're happy. But if you're not happy, which a lot of people who are under those circumstances are, that's nothing. You've got to find that person in that situation that you make your own rules when it comes to love and when it comes to life and when it comes to winning.
I will absolutely agree with you on that last part, which is, you know, we are completely in control of our format of how we love people and how our lives should be fulfilled. For me, I feel a huge amount of love, and that is reciprocated through my family and my friends. It's not a script that has been, you know, indoctrinated to us through generations. It is that I know when I spend time with my friends and my family that I am fulfilled 100%. Yep. Will I procreate? Will I tick that? Am I going to be like the little like bee pollinating the world? Not in the sense that it has practically been before, but I will in a podcast with you, Daryl.
So podcasting with me is the same as procreating.
We just created a baby and we didn't even use a condom. And there's no pop mics here.
No prophylactics needed for this podcast. No, well done. Congratulations. I feel like we've.
Hey, look, I'm
world.
speaking. I'm speaking on my personal journey, and I think it's like, it's a personal journey. I will speak on the female context of this, which is like, you know what, I feel empowered about that, and I feel really empowered that it's like, you know, starting up. You know, we talked earlier tonight about me doing my own business and how a career can give you the sense of fulfillment. And I think it's about purpose. And so much of our lives has been a purpose that's been surrounded around, you know, a family or the context of a family. It's like, I don't have a farm to have 5 children that I need to work on it. I don't need 5 children to toil the fields for me.
No.
I have a group of friends that are amazing and an amazing family that's, you know, life's busy enough.
Yep.
And if I can have a really conscious, authentic relationship with all those people, then I feel really happy about it. And so dispersing the norm is a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is the norm? I mean, the norm is changing all the time. When you look at what we're being told is the norm, and there's so many directions we can head in here. But when it comes to family and love and all that sort of stuff, what is considered to be the norm is so structured now. You know what I mean? You need to have this, you need to have that, you need to have this amount of independency, you need to have this amount of codependency, you need to have this, you need to have that. That to me is devastating in terms of trying to actually make a relationship happen or trying to find some sort of entwinement with someone that you love, because you're just thinking, is there too many rules? You're overthinking shit.
Well, I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, which is that acting, and it's your authenticity.
It's a performance.
Yeah, but it's finding your authenticity, and it's getting rid of all of the superfluous shit, which is, a whole lot of it is social media. A whole lot of it is expectations.
It's not easy. It's not easy to get rid of that superfluous shit. We're just surrounded by all the time.
Just don't do it. You just don't do it. Or if you are going to do it, if you are going to do it, you do it authentically. And you say, this is what's going on for me at the moment. These are these huge expectations that I've got with me that are really broad. A lot of our interactions that we have with people, from what I know, it's like my relationships with people are one two-way street, and it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful dynamic. But I think a lot of the time we negate the fact that these one-on-one relationships, which are very authentic, don't take into context the lives, like the washing that needs to be done, the bills that need to be paid in a flat, the family that we have to look after, the life shit, and that we all have our own jobs and we all have our own lives. And so it's like, it's this directive one-on-one, which is a huge pressure. And a lot of time and energy that needs to go into it. And so if we do it with kindness and we go, actually, you know what, dude? Rather than me feeling let down by you, I understand that your life's really fucking busy. Like, I get it. Your life's really busy. So I don't need you to act for me. I don't need you to do anything other than be authentic to yourself. So if you don't feel like doing something, if you don't want to do something, I'm not going to give you a shit about it. Just do what you need to do. You do you, babe.
See, that's what I think. One thing I like about you, Eve, is that you understand the situation. You think about the situation that people are in. You think people will say things to you, and there are so many people in the world right now that would be offended by fucking anything. But you are the sort of person that goes, you know what? Nah, there is some shit going on. There is something happening there. You didn't get enough sleep, minimalist. You didn't get, you're drunk, whatever. You've got something going on somewhere in the background that makes somebody think the way you do, and that's what I appreciate about you, is that you understand that, and you're very hard to offend. I think I'm on the same sort of cloud. I can't even think of a time where I've been offended by somebody. I've been disappointed, and I've been annoyed, and I've been like, you could have done better, but I've never really taken anything personally. And that's the same as you. You're not someone who takes things personally.
It's a really good segue for you to go into there. I actually had a conversation with my friend on Saturday about this, and I think it's a really, so I generally don't get offended. I generally don't think there's a point of doing that. If I were to make a statement, which I don't generally do, I'm going to make a statement here, which is going to be the root of my existence is expectation. So
I like that. That's a great statement.
Yeah. So it's not about I don't give a I care about what you do as a career. I care about your core values. I care about how you're traveling.
Yep.
But I also need to interact with that.
Yep.
And my interaction with that can be a multitude of things. It can be excitement, and it can be reward, and it can be encouragement, and it can be disappointment, and it can be sadness. and it can be fear, and it can be. So I looked at this, a while ago, because I realized a lot of the times when I was feeling sad per se, was when I felt disappointed, or I felt fear, or I felt a whole lot of like really negative emotions, and I reviewed it and I looked into it, and I realized it all tied back to this one key trait, which is expectation.
Yeah.
And so
Totally.
if you were able to negate expectation, how free is that? Like, how fulfilling would that be? So you have a friendship with someone, and it's like, yeah, man, let's go do this shit.
Yeah.
If you arrive or you don't arrive, doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway. Like, it keeps you back to your home truth.
Yeah.
And an expectation of like your own personal endeavors. Like, I'm going to set these goals.
Yeah.
And rather than me having a fear of these like goals because they're tied in with my expectations, I'm just going to actually do those things.
The thing that gets me about what you're saying, and I totally agree.
I
with
love the way
everything.
you're looking at me, because you're like, I've got some stuff to say.
I'm building it up. I've forgotten it now. Forgotten.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gone.
good.
No, the thing I agree with. I absolutely agree with everything that you're saying. But the problem that I'm finding now with life in general is that everything has expectation.
Sure.
When you meet someone, you expect something. When you go on a date with someone, you expect something. Especially if you've met them on an application. There's an expectation because you based it on an imaginary thing that you've come up with. Society seems to be painting a picture. This goes for films, this goes for entertainment, advertising especially, and a lot of different things. You just have this expectation about what somebody should be, what somebody says, and other stuff. And we don't actually listen to that person. As soon as they go off on this tangent, which doesn't associate itself to what we expect, we freak out. And we
Totally.
go, what the fuck?
Yeah, totally. So what I would say is a challenge to you, or a challenge to anyone that's watching this,
Yeah.
is try really hard to not have an expectation.
Yeah.
And I do need to
I think yeah, go on. Sorry.
I need to bracket this with something which I think is like a really nice kind of information to have with this. And I'm not going super happy on stuff, but I'm like, if you negate an expectation, what you're doing is fulfilling being present. Like you're actually fulfilling like it's yours. Like own it. It's yours. You're being present, and it doesn't matter. Like, say you're on Bumble and you have it, there's this like whatever, this hot girl that's like, hey, come over to my house. You have no expectation other than you being like, I feel excited about this. I am going to go over there and I'm going to go into this with this for me, and that's mine. And I'm not saying that like that shouldn't like, permeate to other things. I'm just saying like, be honest of what that moment is for you, as opposed to having expectations for what it is going to end up as, and being really present in that with everything. It's like a line is delivered in a movie. Great.
Yeah.
Do you expect that? So, I mean, one of the biggest rewards is a turn of events in a movie. It's a flip. It's like, when that script changes and you're given this like massive reward from not being like expecting something. It's unexpected that makes us rewarded. And I think that's like a really beautiful thing. So
we live in a time now where it's very easy to surprise people. Like we've got...
Is it?
No, let me tell you why. Because in the Instagram world and the Facebook world and the social media world, and where expectations are so low, we've all been disappointed so many times. It is an advantageous time for people to just be, you know what? I'm awesome. You turn up, open the doors, turn on the gut, pay for the meal, do all that sort of stuff. And that is so unexpected now.
Are we talking about your dating world now, Daryl?
We're partly talking about my dating world.
We're totally going into
We're partly talking about dating world.
Right.
Every time I go on dates, I'm like, I'm poor as fuck because I'm paying for everything.
I'm waiting for the segue here. Okay.
No, there's no segue. There's no segue here. But no.
Straight to it.
I'm genuinely...
I didn't have any expectations that it would be otherwise.
I'm genuinely serious. I'm genuinely... Like, Like, it is advantageous right now for people who are genuinely good people because expectations are quite low. I mean, I talk to a lot of my friends, especially female friends, as yourself and as others. And they tell me,
gesticulate towards me. Do not gesticulate towards me.
I am gesticulating toward you in your general direction. But not just you, like others as well. And they tell me about the dates that they go on, especially with apps.
I don't even go on dates. Anyway.
No, yeah, we'll get there. We will get there. But they tell me the stories about the dates that they go on, and it is fucking embarrassing.
But
what
why
they
is it
tell
embarrassing?
me
Because
about
it's like they've got these expectations of what it should be. Like, if you're going to go on a date with someone, for one, you're in this forum of like this crazy world, which is like, hey, I've seen like 4 photos of you at the most, and so like. Yeah, cool. Like, I might show you my vagina and I might show you my penis. Like, awesome times. Like, what a bad situation to be in. There
are some of my girl mates, and they go, "Oh my god, it was disgusting." The first thing he sent me was a picture of his dick, and I'm like, "Oh, glad you never spoke to him again." Oh no, I've been on 2 dates.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck? Yeah.
No. But it's also like no judgment and no expectation. But it's like, what are you expecting? Like, really? I mean, I'm all about the organicness about stuff. It's like you meet someone, you chat with them, things getting along. You've got like affirmations from their friends. You've met their friends. Like, you've got this community that's around. We're missing all of that.
Yeah.
By the by, if you go on a date with someone and you want to fuck them, go for it. Like, if
there's
that's what you want to do, like, go for it.
So that is all good.
Totally.
That's all good.
And if they want to pay for your meal,
you can't go on a date expecting that.
You're just sad because you've paid for too many dates.
How much have I paid? That'll be $120. Sorry, how much? I'm sorry, how much? No. But it's
for a cheese platter and 2 wines. Shit.
That is crazy. Where are we, Ponsonby? No, but it's you're absolutely right. It's there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what happens, that's fine. But it's not what you should expect.
There is an exchange, and it's like so long as you understand what the exchange is, and this is where it comes with like social media, dating online. It's like. You understand that exchange, and it's like that's what the exchange is, and don't pretend it to be anything different. It's like
exactly. No, you shouldn't.
You're
talking to me.
If you want love, that could potentially happen online.
That could potentially happen.
But
but we're talking about the expectation.
Chances?
But we're talking about the expectation of things,
which is what I think everyone needs to drop.
And everyone needs to just drop that and just go on the date. The aim should be have a good time. Meet somebody, be the best dude, be the best chick, and.
I think generally speaking,
and be communicative.
Generally speaking, and this is about everything across the board. Yes. Dylan is so bored with us. He's like on Bumble right now.
He's on Bumble.
Tinder, Grindr.
He was.
Raiders for life deals. I think in general, where like, and this is, I am going to make a real huge generalization here.
Boom.
If we have expectations that are outside of what we feel, like, and you know what you feel, and it might be like a little bit corrosive with the values and morals that we're being taught or whatever society says, if you're not valuing your genuine perspective on things, that's a loss. Like, that is a really huge loss. And so to be like authentic and to not have expectations with that authenticity, because the other thing that we need to take into context here is that everyone else has got their own script and their own diatribe. So it's like, this is mine. Like, I'm going to be authentic to myself. But you got to take into context, like, everyone else is living their own lives and everyone else has got their own shit going on. And to have expectations is just a ridiculous thing to do. It's like, actually, like...
You're already on the back foot if you go into something with an expectation.
Totally.
You're way on the back foot.
Totally.
You've just got to walk in there with an open book.
I was hoping that you were going to say that.
You know? No. Oh, that's exactly what I said. Cheers, Eve. Cheers.
Are we wrapping this up?
There is a bottle. Hell no. There is a bottle of water down there. There's a bottle of water down there.
Yeah, I know. I put the lid on it.
You put the lid on it. It doesn't mean we can't drink it.
You asked me to put the lid on it.
And you squeezed it.
I'm keeping the bubbles inside.
It's very good.
Because I've got expectations that those bubbles are going to stay.
I expect these to be amazing. They're okay. That'll do.
It'll do, donkey.
That'll do.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
So let's go back into the...
Can we stop talking about the feels?
No, I'm getting away from the feels.
Yeah, get away from it.
Fuck the feels.
They're gross. They smell bad.
Feels are gone. The feels are terrible.
The feels smell bad.
The feels are gone. So let's talk about something completely different. Ponsonby. We're going out into town, right? Having a good old time. What does Eve like to do? What isn't?
Oh, really? We're in Ponsonby. We're having a good time in Ponsonby.
It doesn't. No, fucking forget Ponsonby. But isn't it weird? Like 10 years ago, right? Everybody goes to the waterfront, and the waterfront was a place to be, and that was a place where the kids went. And then it was like, well, I'm going to go to Ponsonby because that's where the adults go. So you start going to Ponsonby. You start going to Ponsonby, and it's like, sweet, this is pretty good. And then everyone migrates up there, and it's like, oh, now where do we go? Where do we go now? Where does Eve go? Where does Eve like to go? Come on.
Well, I'm an old person now, Daryl.
Oh, stop it. We of the mid-30s.
Where do I like to go? To be honest, it's not about the newest place.
No, because normally they're crap. Yep.
Well, I think there's definitely there's merit in a new place, and I think with Auckland, it's definitely worth supporting. New places, you check it out, and vicariously talk about it, and it's like a really cool thing to do because we're a small tribe here. So you got to back each other. You got to back each other, right? You got to back each other. So for me, it's not about where the popular place is or where the new place is. I will back a new place, but at the same time, it's about, well, what do I want to have in that moment?
Yep.
Who are the people that I'm going out with, and what do I want to experience? So for me, it's like, do I want an intimate dinner? If I'm having an intimate dinner, is it upstairs at Coco's Cantina, or is it Cassia, or is it Kokoro, or is it...
If you can get a seat.
Pre-book, bitches. It's basically like, I want to know what's happening and what's new, but I also, I don't really give a shit.
No.
I had this really interesting conversation with...
As long as you're drunk, who cares? Go on. Yeah.
Lush for life. It was a conversation that I had with a friend who was like, oh, we need to go to this place and we need to go to this place. And I was like, I don't actually really give a shit. It's kind of about a table and a forum. It is Rome for me. It is
Rome. SPQR.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, that'll go there.
Sure.
No, but I think I know what you're saying.
It's a forum.
Yep.
It's like a collection of people in a situation. Sure, you need food. You need sustenance, actually. It's sustenance. Whether it's booze or food, it's sustenance. So give me a forum and I'll be there. I don't give a shit if it's at someone's house. I can definitely, I'm always keen to check out new places.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to gastronomy and amazing.
I asked because of the social butterfly you are. And you know you are.
Sometimes.
But to be fair, the best times I've had out in town has not been at a specific place. It's normally at the studio, Big Pop, Liquid, along those lines. And you're just sitting there, you're just drinking stuff and talking smack and having a good time. It's the best conversations that you have.
Absolutely.
It amuses me when you go out into town and you see all these people queuing. Huge queues in the middle of winter wearing next to nothing. And they're freezing.
But what that is about is it's about a connection.
Yeah.
So when you don't have your Coco's Cantina, your Madame George, your forum, which is what I was saying, it is Rome. It's a forum. It's about a really homely place for people to just communicate to each other. Doesn't matter if it's at your house, my house, wherever. It's at a bar, or if it's a... It's wherever that forum is.
Yeah.
And, it's about communication.
Agreed.
So many times I've been, on the precipice of going out with friends. It's like, where are we going to go for dinner? Where are we going to go for dinner? It's like, I don't give a shit what we eat. I'll happily have a piece of toast with some cheese.
Gluten. Yeah.
I'll happily have a piece of toast with some cheese and just
Yeah.
be like, I don't care. I'll have a cheese board with, and I mean, we had cheese board tonight. It's like, it's not about the food.
It was mean. Yeah.
But it's not about the food. It's like
No.
you negate the like sustenance aspect of it,
Yeah.
and what we need is a connection. And so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter where we are. I do always want to appreciate what Auckland's got on offer.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely support that.
You got to try it all out.
course you
Absolutely.
do.
No, totally agree. Totally
course you
agree.
do.
Totally agree. Music-wise, no, I understand that you're doing some gigs things. What have you got planned gig-wise over the next wee while, apart from the stuff you're doing with me? What is the gig stuff you've got planned?
Right. So, there's a lot of Kiwi bands that are coming up, which I'm definitely going to be like ticking off that box. So Whammy Bar is like a up and comer, like, I mean, it's not an up and comer, but it's like the spot to hang out with for the next couple of months. What do we got? We got Childish Gambino,
Boom.
Block Parties before that, Wu-Tang Clan. Do you feel like you're not okay with the Wu?
I would go for
like
nostalgic
Wu.
purposes, but the nostalgic purposes for me with Wu-Tang aren't necessarily I enjoyed
Well,
them when
you
they
just
were
said
around.
Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang.
Shut the fuck up.
Cash fools everything around me.
I would go for the nostalgic
For the
factor.
womb, for the womb, for the
I would go
womb
for the
tang.
wombs.
Yeah.
I'll go for the wombs.
Daryl's going to be sucking his thumb if you see him on the show.
No. This is fucking amazing.
It's Wu-Tang Clan. Wow.
I would go for the nostalgic factor because I was never really into it. It's like I was never a big hip hop fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I would go. I don't know. It's not even ironic.
You
It's
would-
just
I don't
strange.
know
I
if
would
you
go
would
now
go
because I
now.
think that there's a. No, because the funny thing is, right, you go to these things now, like it's like going to an AC/DC concert. I went to one a couple of years ago. I'm not the biggest AC/DC fan. I'm not really a hard rock kind of dude, but you go because you know there are a lot of people who were once your age, who are now my age, and they're all going to these things. And you see them, and we're now adults.
In gumboot.
But it's no, that's true. It's very true. But you see them, and they're hanging out in an AC/DC concert. They're accountants and lawyers or whatever, and they've got their AC/DC t-shirt on, and they're having the time of their lives, reminiscing about the past. And even though I was never a big part of that past, it's neat to watch that.
Yeah.
I like watching these people hold on to their youth and get a little bit bogan, and that's cool.
I think it's great. Like, voyeurism is an absolute aspect of
Voyeurism?
going,
What the? Yeah.
No, but it is.
Sure.
It's like...
You make it sound like a porno.
Okay,
Yeah, go on.
no. I'm saying this is like you know that I've done abstinence and I don't drink and
You're going to say, I've done everything. Sorry, go on. Abstinence.
and I have.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
but
There's the
when I
honesty
am
hour.
doing like a sobriety stint or like I'm going into a gig, it's like I'm there to feed off the crowd, and this is like society as a whole. It's like we feed off of each other, whether you're sober or not. It's like you're going in there for nostalgia, whether you remember Even Flow by fucking Pearl Jam or not. If other people are singing that and you're watching Eddie Vedder, you're going
It's
to
the
get into
experience.
that.
Exactly. You're having a good time with it.
So your AC/DC experience, which is just going to be the same as like, I pulled out like,
It's mean. Yeah.
the chambers from Wu-Tang the other day, and I was like,
That's a funny thing about it, though.
and something.
Yeah.
It's like,
But that's
okay,
a funny
cool.
thing, though, is too, because even though for the AC/DC thing, I wasn't the biggest fan of AC/DC. Even though I know it's coming up, I'm going to warm up.
Of
I'm
course you are.
warming up.
Yeah.
I'm putting on Thunderstruck. I'm having the time of my life
Because
I'm going to
it's
get ready for it.
experience.
Yeah,
it's the
totally.
experience, and that's the way that I feel about Woo. And that was a time of my life, which is
Yep.
Woo. It was amazing. Same as Block Party. It's like
Yep.
you've got these massive genres. It's like punk with Block Party,
Yep.
Wu-Tang, old school nostalgic hip hop. Childish Gambino, new pushing the frontier as an experiential
Yep.
kind of. Like, I mean, I don't even know what the shit is going to happen there. I think it's going to be incredible.
It's going to be me.
It's going to be amazing. So there's those gigs that are coming up. I think that there's a whole lot that's happening as well in the kind of like underground. I mean, Open Sides, which is what just happened on K Road. Amazing New Zealand aspect of music, which is like really... It's quite a Melbourne idea, which is kind of like a collective of people and bands and really awesome musicians. I mean, we had like Julia Deans, we had her in juxtaposition with Lexa, like old school, new school all at once on the same, like mixing in the same stage with Tali. It's like, what the shit's going on, Auckland? Are you actually stepping up your game when it comes to the musical aspect of how we can be a community? Like it was really cool. I think that was a really awesome event that happened last weekend.
Did you get to it?
No.
No, you didn't.
I did not.
We heard about it though.
Oh, we heard about it.
We knew about it. We read the brief.
Heard all the lols. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was a really cool thing for Auckland to do because there's so much talent here. You know, it's like I don't know. It's a hard thing because I'm like, there's this. Like, we don't want to be the cool kids that are like going to push ourselves out there, and there's the humble aspect. It's like, actually, dude, just own it.
What humble aspect are you talking about?
I'm talking about like, did you heard
Did
about
I heard?
it? Did you heard about it? Did you heard about it?
Hey, heard.
D Dallas was there.
Miss me going in?
Yeah. D Dot.
DD.
It was a massive collaboration, and a lot of us didn't hear about it until like last minute. I was like, holy shit! And there's like totally sold out, and it was K Road just belter space. I mean, shit. They're amazing. And like, I haven't heard them since 98.
Yeah.
How incredible to see that and have your freaking ears bleeding.
Do you think that Auckland as a city advertises...
Don't even talk to me about it.
I won't talk to you about Auckland strictly as a city because there are others. No, but do you think Auckland strictly as a city advertises their gigs well enough? Because I didn't know anything about what you were just talking about that happened the other week until about a day before. That's a problem. If I was in Melbourne or London or any of those other places, there would be something telling me in the face that this is happening.
I don't know. I feel like there are two aspects to this. One is that, yes, that's really clever marketing because it was a totally sold out event.
Was it really?
Yep.
So do you have to be in that bubble to actually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
I think it is.
Kinda, yeah. I can see a benefit in it. Yeah, okay.
I think it is because I think what it does is it's kind of like, you know, you're in the mosh pit and you're putting elbows in.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And there's so much amazing music here in New Zealand. There's so much progressive music and so many progressive artists that it's just like, shit, yeah, keep it underground.
Yeah.
Keep it on the hush. Go to Whammy. Of course you should do, like, you know.
Do you know I've never been to Whammy?
No, I'm not
Everyone
surprised
tells me about
by that.
Whammy. I've never been to Whammy.
You're not a Whammy kind of guy?
I'm not a Whammy kind of guy, eh?
You're not a Whammy guy.
I went to Josh Groban last year. I'm clearly not a Whammy kind of guy.
You're not. You're not.
No.
You're aha.
I'm an aha kind
You're
of guy.
a aha kind of guy. Yeah. And
Yeah, totally agree. What is the one gig of the year that you would not miss in New Zealand?
Childish Gambino this year.
No.
Oh,
regular gig.
Oh.
What other regular gigs are there? Go.
You know it.
I totally know. Explore's great.
Of course it's Explore.
What is it about Explore that works for you? Works for us. Let's be honest.
I was about to just pose that question back on yourself. What is it about Explore that you love?
Explore's amazing because I get bombarded with good music. Most of the time, to be honest, it's not music I know, but there's always one or two acts that I really do know, and they're enough for me to go and explore. But it's at the most beautiful location in New Zealand, and every time people ask me where is Explore, I go, that beach up by Maraetai. I can never remember the name of it.
Tapapakanga, Takakapanga,
Tapapakanga. And it's out there, and it's cool. I mean, the main stage is half on beach, half not. You've got a few other little stages out by and by. And it's a really family atmosphere. It's a family atmosphere. It can be a family atmosphere.
Yeah,
I'll
go with that later.
You can go along and you can make it as, you can take the kids and you can take your family and you can hang out with, be in that group and have the time of your life.
You can make it PG if you
can make
want
it as PG as you want, or you can make it as R18, rated R, as you want as well. And that can be very, very. It can be a hard R. We're talking Deadpool. It's a hard R, but no, it's amazing. And the thing I like about it is, I get introduced to music. Stop playing with a cork. I get introduced to music that I don't know, and I get to hear some music that I do know, and it blends in nicely. But because of the atmosphere it's not like Rhythm and Vines where you've got a whole lot of teenagers running around being dickheads. It feels like everyone's there for the same purpose, and that is to just enjoy music for what it is, have a good time, and you can be on something or you can not be on something. You can have the family there, but everyone seems to understand that and have a good time. It's rare.
So I'm gonna disagree with you here, and I'm gonna say to you,
shoot.
It is like Rhythm and Vines. It is like any other festival.
Really?
Of course it is.
Please continue.
Because it's about the experience. It is not about the music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at I'll look at
Yeah, but I'm not exactly going for the music. I'm going because I like staring at happy shit and the people and all that.
because you like the experience.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So that's exactly the same as Rhythm and Vines. It's
No.
exactly the same as WOMAD. Yeah. It's exactly the same as anything that is.
Yeah.
We're granted with this beautiful country that we can stage.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who necessarily. It's
Everyone, there's a place
it
for
can be
everybody.
Dizzy Rascal, or it can be Shapeshifter.
How good was that?
Or it can be Kamasi Washington.
Don't know who that
it
is.
doesn't matter who it is.
matter at all.
When you have the stage and the forum of
Screaming.
New Zealand,
Yeah.
it's like you're given the forum, and it's
Yeah.
like whatever, you bring the crowd.
Yeah.
You can have a name or a genre. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter when the backdrop is our beautiful country, and you've got the facilities around that.
Yeah.
You don't go to Daryl. You don't go to Explore for Dizzy Rascal.
No,
You
I didn't.
didn't.
I totally didn't.
You
I totally
didn't.
I went for the beaches and the other music.
You went to set up tents with your friends.
I did.
And to be in tents with your friends and out of
Indeed.
tents with your friends and eat weird food and swim in beaches and facilitate a really amazing experience. And that's it's an experiential thing. So it's not
So
about
what is
the
it
music.
about Explore that works for you? What is it about you?
It's experience.
It's just the experience. It's the experience.
Of course it is.
And why is that experience better than all the others? Because I'm 35 and I like hanging out with older people. I love the whisper.
I love older people. And I love whispering in older people's ears because I know they can't hear me. Cunts. Just kidding.
No.
Dylan's like not even
What is
listening
going
anymore.
on? I'm paying no attention. He's paying full attention.
Hey Jules.
What's up, brah? You good, brah?
I think we should turn the cameras around to Dylan.
No.
He likes the Raiders.
We'll get him in there one day.
He likes stand-up paddleboarding, and he's a
Slow romantic
He's
walks
a-
on the beach, and he smells like Joe Malone. And he
pretty hot single guy. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
he totally is.
So guys and girls.
No, just girls. Just girls, okay? Everyone asks me, is Dylan single? And I'm like, yeah, he is. He's not gay. He's a good man. Honestly.
Aw.
He's not. Look at him.
Oh, he is a good man.
He is.
Don't quarry that one.
Down in the monitor, I'm not paying attention.
He's trying not to pay attention.
No, I am, because I got to slip between
How many hours are we up to now? We up to like 4 hours.
an hour 20.
Okay,
An
we're,
hour
we're,
20,
we're
that's
about to
solid.
shut the shit off. Okay, so
fine.
Daryl.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to surmise. I need to ask you a few really pivotal questions.
Go.
Daryl,
Eve.
what are your two best qualities?
And me?
Yes.
The two best qualities of me?
Yes.
Fuck, I don't know. What
Daryl,
are my two best qualities? I would like to think that I am an open book. You can talk to me about anything, and I will give open and honest answers. And I am. That's about it, really.
Okay, Daryl, what's your favorite meal of the day?
My favorite meal of the day is probably brunch.
Protein?
Protein. I fill it with protein.
Cool.
Yeah, probably
If you
brunch.
were to have a power animal, what would it be?
I'm preparing, it would be a lion. I like lions.
Why do you like
I
lions?
like lions because they're big and they're strong and they're the king of the jungle.
In a world.
In a world
In a world.
What's your favorite? What's your
No,
power
it's not
animal?
about me,
No, it's all
Daryl.
about you, Eve.
Daryl, this is your podcast.
I'm a man who... It is my podcast.
This
and
is
as
your
it is my
podcast.
podcast, I'm asking you a basic question. What is your power animal? That's actually an interesting question. I want to know what your power animal is.
I'm a sea otter.
Yeah, actually.
I get distracted really easily.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah.
And I'm super playful.
Yep.
Anyway, so this
True.
is your podcast.
This is my podcast.
Daryl, and I feel really honoured to be on it. And
I feel honoured that you are here. This is all, in all honesty, you're one of my favourite people in the world. And I am so happy that you have joined me on my first podcast. There will never be another first, and you are it, and it is magnificent. And I
kind of
thank
romantic.
you so much.
it's kind of romantic,
Kind of-
but it's gross and
kind of
it's
gross
not romantic
in
as
that
well
weird way. No.
because we're BFFs. But I'm just going to say to you, I congratulate you. I think this
Thank
is a really awesome forum for people to get on board with, and I encourage people to get in touch with you and engage with this because I think you're creating a really awesome platform for people to talk about shit that matters.
Thank you very much, and I thank you for coming on board, and I thank you for just being you, and because I can sense that support when you come on and join me on something like this.
Of
I know I
course.
can always rely on you to support me on anything that I do.
Of course.
And also support so many other people. I've seen the way that you.
And
That one,
this
that
guy,
one, that one,
supportive.
that one.
Raiders,
Oh,
all
no, no,
right,
no.
Raiders,
And
all
Dills.
right. Support,
Dills is the man.
support from Dills.
Dills is awesome. Dills is grand.
Dills, you haven't even drunk any of that red wine. Nah, not interested.
He'll get there. But no, for the future, I just want to wish you the best of luck with Mint, the voice agency.
Mint voiceovers. Yeah, so mintvoices.co.nz. Feel free to get in
Nice.
touch with me. And yeah.
Very, very good. And
That was like a really weird voiceover that I was It's like mintvoices.co.nz.
and also, we're starting our own channel. We're also starting our own YouTube channel this summer. And Eve and I are going to be traveling around doing gigs that we normally go to. We'll be doing Childish Gambino and Splore and a bunch of other ones. And we will be documenting them and reviewing them and doing that sort of stuff. So that is something that we are both doing together and having a good time with. That'll be good.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Thanks for being a good human, Daryl.
thank you for being an amazing human, Eve. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Dills.
Thanks, Daryl.
You're the man.
Do you want to thank anyone else?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to say thank you to
My mum, my dad,
My mum and-
and my dad and my mum.
I'd like to say thank you to Photo Gear in Ponsonby and also on the shore. They've moved shops on the shore. I don't know where they are now, but they have supplied the camera equipment that we're using today and also the photo gear that I am using to take these wonderful photographs of the guests.
I'd also like to thank the Raiders and mum and dad. Thanks so much.
You're such a giver.
In a world.
In a world. Beautiful. Thank you, Eve.
Thanks, Dali.
Au revoir.
Au revoir, au revoir. Like a notch.